So perhaps you're just curious to how medical students study, or you're currently going to 200 level or about to start medical school proper, and you are curious to how a medical student should study, how they study, or what resources you should use as a medical student as you begin this journey. This video is for you. So trust me, you won't be disappointed. But before we go into the video, please hit that subscribe button, like, comment. These are things that help us grow. We are still new in this space, and your support means a lot to us. So before we dive into all these amazing resources, there's one critical thing you must understand first. That's one, the golden rule: know your school. The reason why I said know your school is because everything I'm going to say in this video is a general study method you can use across every school, and the videos are also good for you across any school that you're currently in. But here's the thing: you need to ensure that you understand your school properly. The methodology of approaching the test, especially when it comes to physio, anatomy, and stuff like that, it helps you prepare adequately in the right manner and use the right resources to prep very well. So, for example, if you're in a school whereby in physiology you guys do MCQ, right? MCQs, you have to prepare in a way that helps you pass your MCQ properly. MCQs will require you to read a bit more broad, even though you might not be retaining a large volume of information, but you need to see patterns and recognize information within split seconds, right? So that's the thing about MCQs. You have to be able to recognize that, oh, I've seen this somewhere, I've read about it, yeah, this is the answer. But then if you're doing an essay test, you'll be doing a lot of memorization, and then you need to know your stuff in-depthly, fully in you, especially based or related to majority of the things you've done in class, so that when you see questions, you are not thinking, you are just downloading and killing every question on the go. So that's why you need to understand even the nature of your school, right? It helps you prepare very adequately for your test and helps you maximize your score. Let's go. The first thing I'm going to be talking about today is my top videos for physiology. My top videos for physiology, and perhaps some extra supplementary resources that you can use. So my number one or top tier recommendation is NinjaNerd. Well, this channel is at the very top tier of my list. I usually combine NinjaNerd with another channel, but NinjaNerd adds a special edge. Okay, so two channels that are usually very prominent in this space, that especially in the medical world, they're top for medical explanation, is Dr. NERDGYP and NinjaNerd. NinjaNerd, how do I put it? If you start with NinjaNerd early, right? If you start with NinjaNerd early enough, right? You can build a system that helps revision so easy for you, right? If, for example, you're doing from introductory physiology to neurophysiology and special senses at the end of your time as a medical student in preclinics, right? And while you're doing that, if you pick up cell biology, that's the introductory physiology for NinjaNerd, the cell biology playlist, and you start watching, just watch it like a seasonal movie. Many of us watch seasonal movies. Just pick it down and watch it like a seasonal movie while supplementing with your textbook, right? You're surprised that once you've watched it, there's one secret thing about watching videos, especially when it comes to NinjaNerd. Once you put it at 2x speed, you can hear NinjaNerd as clear as possible, and then everything is just retained. You already have them retained, but then at 2x speed, you are literally regurgitating every single thing you've watched already, and revision is just so easy and so fast, right? Imagine watching an entire studying 3 topics in Physio within 4 days or 3 days, in fact, right? Or can you see how efficient it is? Or you want to revise for your MB, right? And it's MB period, and you have studied the entire playlist of NinjaNerd, right? During your exam, right? You can just pick all the playlists, then run through all of them at 2x speed. You'll be surprised you can finish your entire physiology within a week plus, which is very outstanding and very efficient for a medical student. You conserve time and you retain more, right? And you can easily revise and supplement with other resources. This is the benefit of even using NinjaNerd, because of its videos are well detailed, and even if you are watching the video and not necessarily using textbook to an extreme extent, you are still not missing out on the most essential information or details that you need. So that's the reason why I recommend NinjaNerd. It's one of my top channels, and I've been using it for my study all the way from 200 level. So yeah, there goes NinjaNet, right? And to as you use it for a start, you need to ensure that when you're studying your physiology for the first time, ensure you are supplementing with good textbook resources. It's your choice depending on your school. Understand what textbook to use. It can be Guyton and all. I use Guyton and all to supplement with NinjaNet. Some of my classmates use Essentials. It depends on you. Find what works for your school. Supplement with NinjaNet, and then I think you'll be well to go. Yeah, for anatomy now, anatomy is broad, so I break down based on what I'm prepping for. It can be just for general study or for practical exam like a steeplechase, or it can be for just a standard paper test, anatomy test, which is usually MCQs, right? So it helps me understand how to use my resources, right? But there's general study before preparing specific for the kind of exam I'm going for. For general study now, my top recommendation is Dr. Adel Bondok. You can literally work Dr. Adel Bondok without studying a single textbook. Can you see how amazing is that for a medical student? You pick Adel Bondok. It's a YouTube channel. I'll drop the links to all these videos in the descriptions. Dr. Adel Bondok, right? Dr. Adel Bondok. Yeah, it's on the screen. You can literally watch Dr. Adel Bondok without reading your kids more or Vishram textbook and still end up passing exceptionally well, even far better than those that use the textbook. And then you can easily revise faster than them also. Can you see how efficient that is? So that's one of the reasons I recommend Adel Bondok. At first, one thing a lot of students face while watching Adel Bondok is that his accent at first. But trust me, if it's either number one, if you really want to pass it, you just ignore his accent. But when school carry you and give you smackdown, trust me, and you go to this video, you'll be surprised that you hear his voice very clearly. So yeah, so that's it. That's one thing about the model is just it gives you what you need basically. So if per adventure you feel like you're lacking some nutrients, right? Especially when it comes to clinical relations, and you want to supplement a bit of clinical relations, don't forget to use your school slide. That's one. And number two, you can use BRS textbook. BRS textbook has its own disadvantage, right? Especially for someone who's just starting. So I don't really recommend for someone that is just starting to use BRS. It might be confusing, right? But still, you can try it out to supplement with your clinical resources, clinical informations, because that's what I use. I've already finished anatomy very well, so and I understand it properly. So I'm using BRS to supplement, to revise a lot of things and make my knowledge very full, right? So using BRS now will give you a lot of clinical relations and give you like basically a summary of the entire anatomy, right? So as to make sense of everything that you are studying. For example, BRS doesn't talk much about the origin and insertions of muscles, and that's something I didn't like about it. But still, it doesn't mean I've not already studied about it and I already know the origin and insertions of muscles. So if it does not offer me that, I don't necessarily care, right? But it gives me the other things I need. So yeah, it's up to what you want to use to supplement. So Dr. Adel Bondok is on the top of my list, and supplement with the resources that you have or you want to use, right? Top two on my list is now Sonip Gupta. And Sonip Gupta is so excellent. In fact, he's so detailed. It's literally like watching a textbook of anatomy. But if you start early, it's one of the videos I regretted not starting early to using from the onset, right? Sonip Gupta has detailed work. The only issue with Sonip Gupta is videos can be a bit longer by far than Adel Bondok, right? So, but he's extremely good. He has special playlists for clinical correlations to every topic you're reading, and he has well-detailed lectures on everything you're using, down from upper limb, lower limb, all the way to head and neck, right? Your thorax, abdomen, head and neck, perineum, and pelvis and perineum, head and neck, right? So there you go. So then Dr. Adel Bondok, Sonip Gupta are my top recommended videos for YouTube on anatomy. So there you go. For things like steeplechase and dissection, there's a special way you want to prep for dissection, right? So I also have YouTube videos I recommend for dissections and steeplechase, right? For when I'm dissecting, doing dissection studies, because you can literally go after you've studied your textbook, you go to the dissection lab and try to cut the cadaver, right? You literally don't understand what you're seeing. Trust me. It's a struggle initially, but when you understand your system, going to dissect becomes far easier and very efficient for you. So what are textbooks? What are the resources or YouTube videos I recommend? Number one, Viva Voice of Anatomy. If you're dissecting, for dissection, Viva Voice of Anatomy. Then number two, I will recommend for osteology now. For osteology, Varenkara. Trust me, that's on top of my list. You can't. In fact, I can't emphasize Varenkara. It's too good. Trust me, for osteology. They will ask you these things live. Once you go through live videos, Varenkara gives you live bones. So once you see it, understanding you and detailed description of bones. So it's just phenomenal when it comes to that. So that's one of the videos I recommend for anatomy, Varenkara. So that's for that one. So one thing about using videos is that it makes identification of structures easy for you. It makes life so easy for you. Instead of studying a textbook and then still struggling to go and identify it in the atlas, it slows down your reading. But when you watch a video, right, it speeds up your reading because someone is telling you what the information you need to know and still pointing in the direction of where the information is. So instead of you start to be struggling on your own where the information is, someone is just directing or giving it to you, which is very efficient and resourceful for you as a medical student, so that you can spread your wings to study other things more efficiently, right? So that's for that. Videos cannot be overemphasized for medical students. Literally, your life depends on it, and I'm not joking about that. I'm sure a lot of you like textbook, but don't forget to ensure you explore videos. So what's your clear combo, right? For practicals, is Viva Voice of Anatomy, Varenkara, and then your atlas. Please, atlas is one textbook you shouldn't joke with. This is just some extra thing I'll talk about when you're studying for dissection. Your atlas. For instance, throughout I barely knew the importance of atlas until the day of my first steeple chase. Trust me, I studied that atlas like 2 days, spent it studying everything from what I was prepping for. Used atlas to study it, and my steeple chase went so exceptionally well. Right? So please, atlas is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, trust me, when it comes to that, right? So once you study your atlas, identification will be super easy for you, okay? So once you use these three resources, Viva Voice of Anatomy, Varenkara, and your atlas, you will be beautifully ready for any steeplechase. And I'm not joking about that. But just ensure you have done your general study, because that will help you connect the dots even more easily when you're studying for practicals. For biochemistry now, the top videos I would recommend for biochemistry, and I researched this one when I was about to enter med school, and it has helped me a lot. Talk about chemistry of protein, amino acid, carbohydrate, lipid. These videos have helped me exceptionally well, right? So, and they are commonly used amongst medical students, trust me. So what are the videos I recommend? They include Enjoy Biochemistry. Enjoy Biochemistry is on the top of my list. Then I also have AK lecture. So in fact, put AK lecture and Enjoy Biochemistry on the same level. Those are my guys, right? These are my video shakers. So basically, so if you get what I mean, so those two are really helped me. Then I supplement with my slide majorly, and I ensure that I eat my slide like for breakfast, right? I know the slide like the back of my palm, right? Memorizing it properly and efficiently, so I can maximize my score. So I use videos to supplement them. If I see the need to use the textbook, then I use the textbook. But I barely use textbook. Have I even used it? Okay, I've used the textbook before. So I barely use textbook for biochemistry, right? So to supplement, I just use to supplement for any extra information I want to know about the topic, just to avoid being surprised. Because at times they do surprise us with things that are not in the slides or in the lecture. So you got to stay ready, right? No patient is going to tell you this is what is wrong with them when they come to you. They're going to come with a surprise case. Metabolism now. We are going to talk, but when it comes to metabolism now, NERDGYP still retain the top of the list when it comes to metabolism. Metabolism, NERDGYP is just amazing. Trust me. Like I said again, the one thing about YouTube videos that once you watch it once, especially NERDGYP a day, you can always put it on 2 times speed for revision, which is efficient, which increases your speed. You imagine being able to revise all the pathways of metabolism within the shortest time possible. That instead of picking a whole big textbook to start reading all over again when you've forgotten, trust me, you're going to forget every single thing before your final exams in preclinical. So you want to ensure that you are creating a solid system for easy revision even as you go, right? So that's for metabolism. However, but let's say you still want a textbook, right? let's say you still want the textbook, right? I highly recommend Vasudevan. Vasudevan is very good for medical students, trust me. And then if it's still my top textbook, it's my top recommended textbook. But Essential Tools is also very good. But Vasudevan, I think one of the top scorers in biochemistry in my department also use Vasudevan to supplement their work. So yeah, so that's one of the things I recommend. So here comes the game changer. So I'm going to drop a special video about this one. This one is the game changer of how I use AI and Anki to maximize my study. We're in the new age. You got to be studying like a king, right? You have to be studying like a master, a chief. So I use AI and Anki, right? I don't know if you've heard of Anki before, right? So Anki is an app that helps you to use spaced repetition to study. You know, spaced repetition is one of the most scientifically proven ways to study and that's what Anki gives you, right? It's an entire system or algorithm that you have to master, right? I'll drop a video to if in case you want to check it. So there's a way you use it when you're on laptop, and there's a way you use it if you're using your iPad, right? I'll drop a video on that separately on how I use Anki to study, so that you can use it for your benefit. So that's for that. Then AI too, I supplement with AI. I use AI to generate my Anki flashcard, but I don't just use AI. There's a special format, especially for those using an iPad and then laptop. There's a specific format, and it's a bit it has a bit of technicality to it. Right? That's why I said I'm going to do a video on it, because it can become technical. It took me time. I spent like about 2 days just mastering the entire system, right? So I will just give it to you for free, and you use to master or use to learn efficiently as a medical student and make your life easy and interesting as a medical student. You see, I will talk about the histology and embryology. See, a lot of people don't take their histology and embryology serious. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's in my school, but when they get to they spend more time reading anatomy, biochemistry, and then the other the physiology and stress that we usually recommend for a study that makes life easy. That's clinical relevant, is interesting to read, is BRS, right? It makes life easy for you. Then you supplement with your slide. I don't joke. In my school, we don't joke with the use of slide research, slide and lecture notes for histology. Paying attention in class and using your slide, and then supplementing with BRS makes you an avatar. Basically, you have all elements in balance, right? So histology is something I don't joke with. Embryology, NinjaNet, trust me. NinjaNet has it together with your slide. You combine NinjaNet playlist, it has an embryology playlist. It's not really, it didn't really tie with embryology. Put something like is it ovulation, something about evolution stuff, everything. That's the topic, but it has an entire place for embryology, right? And then you can supplement that one with your material or resources. But one thing about embryology is that it's abstract to read. So starting with a good video playlist can help make your life easier, especially when it comes to NinjaNet. And like I said, all of this, if you start early enough, you can build a system that you can easily revise by just putting it at 2 times speed on YouTube, and then your revision is so fast and efficient, right? So that goes for it. I show my entire playlist of my offline YouTube videos. You'll be surprised. I have almost 1,000 videos, if not more, right? So I'm high on videos. I'm an extremist when it comes to visual learning. So it helps my retention, helps my 3D spaced understanding of things. So yeah, so that's for embryology. So a quick recap. So rule 1, understand your school pattern, right? Understand your school pattern, that's one. And then physiology, like I said, I recommend NinjaNet as your best friend. NERDGYP would have been very good, but NERDGYP 2 is a long video. So I don't know if you have the time for that as a medical student, but NinjaNet is on top of my list for that. For anatomy, Dr. Adel Bondok. For theory, Dr. Adel Bondok. And do you remember? And then you just the combo I spoke about for when it comes to anatomy practicals. I'm sure you still remember them. So, like I said, Viva Voice of Anatomy, Variant Carrier, and Atlas. Right? That's the perfect combo for your practicals, right? And yeah. So, but if you are doing a biology practical, if your school has biology practical models like my school, you also study your biology practical models, even as you study your biology. Even as you've done general study on embryology, if you have embryology study medical models in your school, You can also combine that to preparation for your biology test, right? So yeah, so biochemistry, like I said, ninja nerd when it comes to metabolism, AK lectures, and enjoy biochemistry for normal study of biochemistry, and then supplement with any extra resources you have, especially your slide. Please don't joke with your school slide. Please, I will say it again, don't joke with your school slide. Okay, so game changer, I said I would make a special video on this AI with Anki for space repetition. This one is a special stuff to talk about. I won't be able to go into the nick of details about it. That's why I have to create a separate video for it. So yeah, expect that video, right? And don't forget your embryology and don't forget your histology. Those are things that makes you a perfect medical doctor. And trust me, especially some of you that want to go into internal medicine, you want to go into neurology, you want to go into you want to become a physician, right? Knowing your histology and embryology will help make diagnosis very easy. The more you understand your stuff or know what you're studying, it makes you fulfilled and have more purpose. You won't be struggling as a medical doctor. You understand a lot of things, and it makes you find purpose and fulfillment in helping people's life, in saving people's life. And imagine seeing the hospital as a home, because you literally have the ability to save a lot of lives. And once you have control of that, you find more fulfillment in what you do, right? Yeah, so that's for that. And it all starts from now, basically. So I hope you've learned something. And I will see you in another video.